Hello, welcome to Dundrell's podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Welcome to night 5 of Vampire Week. Today we're reviewing the Anne Rice film, which she disavowed the movie after it came out. We're reviewing 2002's Queen of the Damned. It's a horror fantasy film. It's an hour and 44 minutes. And I totally forgot. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. It's the thing where I saw this movie before I ever saw Interview with a Vampire. So when I watched the movie and I found out that the main character of the film was Lestat, I was like, holy fuck. Holy crap, man. I totally... It's the thing where, like, you know, you watch the sequel before you watch the first one, so it's like, what the hell? Which, this movie, even though it takes place after Interview with a Vampire, there is, like, no references to Interview with a Vampire, right? So, like, the movie's about the legendary vampire Lestat, who has been, like, you know, asleep for 100 years because he was so bored. While asleep, he can still hear. It's like a coma, right? Where you can still hear what's going on around you. So he starts hearing some epic rock music, like he starts hearing Korn in the back in his like tomb, and he's like, "Man, I gotta get in on that." so he gets out of his his crypt and stumbles onto this like goth rock band, right? And starts singing to them, tells them, hey, he's a vampire and he's gonna make them rich if they make him the lead singer of their band. Which the music in the movie is done by Richard Gibbs and Jonathan Davis, from Korn, the lead singer, who has like a small cameo in the film trying to sell tickets, right? What's it called when you sell like tickets, sold out tickets, right? He was a scaper or scapper or whatever it's called. I don't really go to concerts, so I don't have to deal with that shit. He becomes like a lead singer of this awesome band, and he tells everybody he doesn't give a fuck. He tells everybody he's a fucking vampire, right? And this pisses off a lot of vampires, because if you ever seen Interview with a Vampire, you know one of the rules to being a vampire is you don't talk about being a vampire. Rule 2 of being a vampire: you don't talk about being being a vampire, right? So this pisses off all the vampires in the world, right? And they want to go to his rock concert and kill him, right? But like, you don't also have that going on. You also have, there's this group of people who investigate, a group of human scholars who investigate vampires, and you have this one girl called Jessie Reeves, who's like an orphan, who's played by Margaret Moreau, who took me a while to recognize her. I think she was in Dazed and Confused. I could be wrong, but she was in Wet Hot American Summer, and she was in Mighty Ducks, stuff like that, right? And you know, she learns about Lestat and starts to have like a thing for him and wants to become a vampire. While that's going on, you're getting like Lestat's origin story. He was made by a Roman vampire called Marius, who was played by Vincent Perez from The Crow 2, City of Angels, which I liked that movie, but like I tried rewatching it recently, and it does not hold up. but you know, and just like in that movie, he has a bad hairline in this movie as well. Which I'm looking at recent photo of Vincent Perez. He got his hairline fixed. I don't know if he got hair plugs or what, but yeah, he got his hairline fixed. And like, it's funny, man. I always thought this guy was a French actor. Apparently he's from Switzerland, which they have like 5 official fucking 5 official languages, man. So retarded. But whatever, right? So yeah, like the other stars in the film, you have the R&B singer Elia as Queen Akasha, who's the queen, the titular, however you pronounce that, Queen of the Damned, right? And like she, like long time ago, like Marius was like the safekeeper of Queen Akasha and her husband, who were this king and queen vampire from Egypt, who you know tried to conquer the world, but got bored and like turned themselves into stone. Lestat back when he first got made, drank her blood, right? Because she's like a living statue, and almost woke her up. So like Vincent Marius like abandons him, right? And then Queen Akash and moved away, taking the living statues with him. What ends up happening is because you know Lestat's new band, which I got one of the problems with the movie is like, you know, there's a lot of lip singing music videos where like Stuart Townsend as Lestat is like lip singing to like Korn music, right? That was made for the movie, and no way would you picture his Korn, like the Korn guy voice music coming from him, man. It's just so out of place, man. They could have gone like, there's so many different bands that they could have went to where they could have been like, okay, like yeah, he looks like more like he could lip sync to that music, but like they got fucking Korn, man. It was like, oh my god. All right. So yeah, what ends up happening is that Queen Akasha wakes up and wants Lestat to be the new king, right? And she wants to kill any vampire and any humans who don't worship her. So you have a group of vampires team up with Lestat to take her down, right? And that's the movie. So I don't know, man. Back in the day, I really loved this movie, right? Because like you had like the vampires looked cool. The action, what action there was cool. Though there's a lot of dated CGI, right? Yeah, the action looks cool. If you're like, this movie to me is like the closest thing to like a Vampire the Masquerade, like movie. It perfectly like captures like the video game, right? What was it called? What was the Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines? Yeah, perfectly encaptures that like aesthetically, right? Especially with the tone. The music I thought was good, but like again, like it's like it didn't really fit, like, you know, the Stuart Townsend, even though Stuart Townsend looks great in the film, except for his unibrow, which the two brows don't connect, but it's like they're very close. They could have, like, you know, trimmed that up a bit, right? But I thought his performance was great. Aesthetically, the movie was good. If you're like a fan of Farscape, right? Claudia Black is in the movie, though I think she has maybe one line in the movie, and then she gets killed, right? But yeah, Claudia Black from like the later seasons Stargate and, like, you know, Farscape is in the movie as well. Nice to see her in the film, right? Also, the tall guy from like the Mad Max movies is also in the movie as well as one of the good vampires, right? So I don't know. Aesthetically, I thought the movie was good. The story, I liked the story, but yeah, I think they spent too much time on Lestat's origin story and not enough time building up the conflict with the movie, because you have this like, because they hype up the Queen of the Damned like so much, and then it's like once she shows up, like the movie makes a beeline to the finale, right? And then the movie ends. So it's like, what the fuck, man? She finally shows up in the film, and then she's gone, right? So it's like, what? And then there's the thing with Jesse Reeves, right? The Jesse Reeves character, where it's like, what purpose did she what purpose did she have in the film, right? It kind of did not make sense unless they were trying to sequel bait with her, but I don't know, like, she kind of didn't really serve a purpose in the film, right? You could have taken her out of the film and her romance in the, with Lestat, which they, it's funny because, like, I watched, like, a review with like, interview with the vampire where they're like, oh yeah, the vampires don't fuck, right? Because they reproduce by, like, biting and people, making them drink their blood, so they don't really need to, like, have sex. Here, there's, like, a sex scene, a very PG-13 sex scene with Lestat and the Queen of the Damned, which, and you're getting, like, this, like, music video playing in the background. I thought that was good, very tastefully done, very, very sad that, like, the actress, the R&B singer who played, like, Queen Akasha, she was only 22 when she died, man. She was beautiful in the movie, and I thought for a person, like, who wasn't, like, didn't have a lot of acting experience, because, like, the only other movie I think she did, well, actually, I think she did a bunch of movies. Let me double check. I know she was in Romeo Must Die. Oh, no, she was just featured in a bunch of stuff, but yeah, she was, like, the only other movie she did was Romeo Must Die, which she wasn't too great in that. Oh, she was married to R. Kelly for, like, a year, 94 to 95. I don't know. I like this movie, but a lot of people hate it. I think it's fine. Like, if you're a Vampire the Masquerade fan, this and, like, Underworld is pretty much, like, the best, like, you have. So if I were to give this movie a rating, to me, it's a 6.5 out of 10. It has its problems, but I liked the film. I thought it's a good film, and it's definitely one of those films I would, wouldn't mind rewatching once in a while. And I kind of find it funny that, after the popularity, because, like, Interview with Vampire, because, like, one of the special features of the DVD I have is that they recap the Vampire Chronicles, which is the Anne Rice books, and, like, you have this, like, 20-year gap between Interview with a Vampire and the second book, which was put out after Interview with a Vampire, and, like, I'm reading, like, the synopsis for all the different books, and they're pretty much Lestat, like, fucking takes over the series and becomes, like, the main character. There's even, like, one of the later books he fights the fucking devil or some shit. It's like, what the fuck, man? I want to read these books now. But I just find it funny that, like, Lestat was like the villain in the first book, and then, like, he becomes, like, the main character, like, anti-hero in the series, right? Louis just gets fucking sidelined. What the fuck? Can you imagine if fucking Tom Cruise had starred in this film? How fucking awesome would that have been? Though I don't know. He could have pulled it off, like, in 2002. He was still very young looking at that point. Yeah. So yeah. That's all I have to say for this film. I wasn't, like, Vampire Week was only supposed to be, like, 5 reviews, but, like, if I have time this weekend, because I'm trying to, like, for my current book review, my next book review, I'm reading a very long book, right? So if I can, like, get up to, like, halfway through the book, halfway through the book, during the weekend, right? Then, like, I'll review another vampire movie. We'll do, like, a bonus video for Vampire Week. Alright, guys, that's it for this video, guys.